All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. How are you guys doing today? I know I'm doing well. Don't mind the clothes. It's literally just fresh laundry that I need to do. Um, Today, well, honestly, apologize. I've been on a consistent streak of just not uploading. I'm not gonna lie. Usually because when I come home from work, I come home in the evening, and then from there, I have other things on my schedule. But I'm gonna get a select time. Wednesdays I'm always off, so Wednesdays is always gonna be an early upload. But I need to definitely find time. Well, I have the time. I just need to set in stone my consistent uploads. But trust and believe, this week we're going back to consistent. I said that all last week, but trust and believe, this week, this is the week, baby. But anyways, I just got back from hooping. Hope you guys are doing pretty good to this evening. Um, this morning we got effed hard. Not even hard because market literally played out in my exact bias and in my exact favor. But unfortunately, I got I was liquidity. I didn't take a trade yesterday, but we'll talk about yesterday after the trade recap for today. But anyways, let's get right on into it. So today on Nasdaq and ES, we had our beloved levels. We had this drawn liquidity. All the other ones were definitely taken out by pre-market. So I was like, okay, this is the only one that's like valid for a drawn liquidity. I kind of knew price wasn't gonna want to be here, but we did have this 4 hour fair value gap that price was probably gonna want to tap into, and as you see, played out perfectly. Um, on ES, marked on my levels, we had no 4 hour highs because price was definitely not gonna come over here pre-market. Well, at least for my times during that trade, price was definitely not gonna come all the way down here. We're really stuck between this range of imbalances and whatnot. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll mark up the nearest imbalance. Maybe price will want to go to that, and that's what my trade was technically based off of. Usually I wait for liquidity sweeps, but sometimes if the liquidity sweep is not there and you got fair value gap, sometimes you just gotta play what you're dealt. And I know some people are gonna be like, "Oh, that's not a strategy." A strategy doesn't have to be all concise. Remember that you can have a strategy, but as long as you have like one or two things like added to it or like taken off, it's still valid. But anyways, this is the 4 hours. We had the 4 hour imbalance right here, and then we go to the 1 hour. We had a 1 hour highs. We had this 1 hour low right here that I knew price was gonna want to go to, but we had this 4 hour for value gap that I was kind of wanting price to draw into, looking for longs, obviously. Um, what else? We had these highs right here that price was gonna want to draw towards. Um, Going into the oh, that was all ES. Now Nasdaq. Nasdaq. I feel like I messed up, but it doesn't matter. Nasdaq on the 4 hour, we had this 4 hour imbalance right here. Price didn't really draw into. I didn't take a trade. Oh wait, I did take a trade on Nasdaq because it was the lagging indicator. But um, we had this 4 hour for value gap right here. We also had this 4 hour for value gap right here. We also had this 1 hour draw on liquidity right here. We had these draws on liquidity, and that was pretty much it. From there, um, I was honestly just waiting. During pre-market, we made a 5 minute SMT. As you can see right here, we made a 5 minute SMT. Um, I guess you could honestly probably count boom, boom, sort of. But let me explain myself first. Pre-market, before market open on ES and Nasdaq, we made a 5 minute SMT, and these lower lows SMTs, these higher lows and lower lows SMTs basically tell us price is going to want to come up and draw towards take out these are draws on liquidity. Vice versa for a bearish SMT, you'll see higher highs and higher lows, which will eventually signal that price is going to want to draw down to. Um, but yeah, from there we had this SMT. I was like, okay, bet that's a good indicator that we're gonna want to come out to these highs. But coming also in the pre-market, we tapped into this 4 hour for value gap. So I was like, okay, we didn't wipe out liquidity, but we did draw into the 4 hour for value gap. And from there, I'm like, okay, I'm looking for longs. And what did we get? We didn't get anything besides a breaker structure. And then from there, I got my retrace. Boom, boom, boom. Then from there, I got my retrace. 10 o'clock. So I didn't take a trade on ES. This was my actual like ha trade that I would have took if I took two trades. My actual trade was on Nasdaq. I'll turn on my executions. There we go. Okay. Anyways, this was gonna be my trade here for ES, which was gonna be a very solid trade. We had a breaker structure right here, and honestly, we were just playing, and whatever this range was right here, bro, whatever this range was, this was just horrible. Like it was just nonstop, just toying around. What did we eventually do? We eventually created a fair value. Buying pressure in it. Man, we got selling pressure in it, buying pressure out. From there, we could have longed from here. Um, we also hit equilibrium, which was honestly another good indicator as well, at least for my way of trading. First take profit would have been this high right here. Second take profit and final take profit would have been here for 4 ratio. Even if I kept it right here, this would have been a 1 to 84 ratio. That's still good. This would have been like the runner, and yeah, that's pretty much this. Well, honestly, would have been a very solid. This honestly would have been like one of my best trades taken if I had taken this. Pain, but it's all good. On the Nasdaq, this is the pain. This is like the actual pain because not only Nasdaq did what I wanted it to do, it exceeded my expectations and going even higher than what I expected, honestly. So same thing. We had the 5-minute SMT, and this SMT right here was a lower low. With my homie was asking me like what's an SMT, and real quick, an SMT is basically a good little indicator to tell you where price is going to want to draw towards. For example, let's say you're on two indexes. Nasdaq at 950 has a low. Nasdaq at 1005 creates a lower low. ES creates a low at 950, and ES creates a higher low at 10. Well, 10:10 or whatever time I just said for Nasdaq. I low-key forgot. I'm not gonna lie, but you get the idea. A higher low, and you have a lower. You have a low, a low, a low. You have a low, then a higher low. You have a low and a lower low. The what we call it? Index with the lower low is usually the lagging indicator, which is gonna be more susceptible for trades. Obviously, you could trade on the other one, but it'll be more ideal. Obviously, it's up to you, but more ideal, so they say, to take the trade on the lagging index. Same thing, vice versa. With bearish SMTs, let's say ES creates a high at 950, then ES creates a higher high at 10 o'clock. Nasdaq creates a high at 950. The Nasdaq creates a lower high at 10 o'clock. The higher high will be the lagging indicator, which would be more ideal for you to trade on. And right here, there's a perfect example for a bullish SMT. Right here, we have a low, then a lower low. Right here, we have a low, then we have a little higher low. I don't know if you could really tell. I don't know if you could really tell, but ES is a bit more high. But anyways, I was honestly SMTs are just a good indicator of telling you where price is gonna go. As long as an SMT is formed, bullish or bearish, that pretty much will confirm your bias if your bias is correct. Like if you see an SMT and it's a bullish and your bias before the SMT was even formed was like, okay, I want to see price like do this, and the SMT low-key can confirm it, then you're pretty much straight. That's what it basically does. It's like a real life real time confirmation. Besides the confluences, but coming into Nasdaq, yeah, the SMT, and I was like, okay, bet. Let me see if I could look for a 5-minute retrace and a good trade. This is where I honestly got messed up at. So from here, got my retrace, and then what did I do? Scale down to the 1-minute. Obviously, look for a bigger structure. We hit equilibrium as well, which was like a bang, bada boom. Got the bigger structure. What else do we have? We had this breaker right here, and I was like, okay, if I can get, this is number one reason why I'm probably not gonna take trades just off of breaker blocks anymore. But I was like, okay, bet, let's get buying pressure out, and we long on it. We get buying pressure out. I enter off the next candle. I get stopped out the next candle. Bro, bring me to my last point with ES. Like this whole range was just absurd. What did we end up doing? I entered this trade at 10:10. I literally got liquidated 2 minutes later. My trading time would have been over at 10:30, so right around here. And guess what we did after I got liquidated? We created a fair value gap right here, imbalance right here.